Hi, welcome to How to D&D. My name is Fred Weller, and today we're going to paint an Otyugh miniature, something like that. Starts with O. I have no idea if I've pronounced it correctly, and I'll do a bit of live chat, so by all means throw me some questions, put out a shout out, whatever it is, and I'm going to paint this thing, which is really weird. I sprayed it again with this fine surface primer for plastics and metal, and when I sprayed it to try and get underneath, because it's really hard to get underneath there, I turned it upside down, sprayed it, and then I turned it back up the right way after I sort of maneuvered. I think I had to turn it around a couple of times, and then I sprayed the top. So that's all done, and I did actually try to get rid of some of the mold lines. I don't know if you can necessarily see them. I'm going to bring it a little bit closer. Hopefully I have put it in the right place so you can see. But you might be able to see some of the mold lines. They actually stand out pretty badly. I did attempt to take off some of them, but as I was doing that, I was taking off some of the detail. And so as a result, I've decided I'm going to have to just suck it up and deal with the fact there are mold lines that are pretty obvious in some locations. I was tempted to sort of scrape at them while the paint was there, so I can now that I can see them really clearly. But yeah, I'm just going to live with it. Anyway, so I'm going to paint this thing black, and I was kind of looking around for somebody who had painted one of these things before, and I'm going to go with orange, or like a shite brown color or a shite orange color, because it's supposed to live in garbage and pretty much just eat anything. It's got no eyes, just a tongue, mouth, teeth, and tentacles for grabbing things. So I thought that would be my plan, and then the tongue I think will be a red, maybe a dirty red color, and it's got some membrane section for the jaw here. I'm thinking maybe a pinkish color, and then its teeth will be white or off-white, and its tentacle attachy things I think will be an off-white, and its claws maybe a white yellow or just an off-white again. I'm not going to try and do too much. What I have also done is, because between drying I've got to do something else, right, otherwise you're going to sit there and getting bored, I've brought along these gibbering mouthers which I will paint black, and that will give me something to do while I'm waiting for this thing to dry before we put the next coat on. So that's the plan. I did actually bring along with me something to hold it with. So this time, the larger container will actually work. So sticking this thing on here will make a lot more sense. And come on, you silly thing. Yeah. Stick on. Stick on. Yep. Okay. So that is my plan for this, and I've brought along my little container for the gibbering mouther, which I can just sort of take off, put aside, and I'll probably have to tidy up the finger marks later. I was looking at the detail on that, and there's not too many mold lines on that. In fact, there are mold lines that appear to be in places where there shouldn't be mold lines. So that must be part of the miniature, or just my imagination, or I'm just getting really old. So first thing is, we're going to put some black paint on it. Bring this over here. It's really hard to get this particular miniature. Honestly, if you try and buy it, it's going to cost a fortune. So the fact that it's in the Wrath of a Shardalon board game is awesome. And I'm really pleased that I've got it. It's just going to take a little bit of time to get the paint on and paint it, because it's unpainted. There we go. It's going on nicely. I'm so glad I primed it. It makes a big difference. So today I was shooting video before this, and I did a whole lot of player tip or player tactics videos. I've been doing Dungeons and Dragons DM tactic videos. Well, I did one. I've actually got another one. It just hasn't been released. I'm kind of nervous about releasing it, because the last time I did so, there was a bit of controversy about what I had suggested, And I was trying to take that on board, but I wasn't too sure how to deal with that. So we'll see. I kind of feel like the... Oh, how's it going, Bro Geek? Yeah, well, for this one I think I will, because it's kind of, it lives in shit anyway, and I would probably just go with like a brown color, but I'm not, because it just feels, I just painted something recently and it's brown, right? Ah, the blue tag's coming free, but I really want this to be dark color rather than really light color. If I was painting something that, you know, sort of, normally I guess you'd use a white base, right? For something like yellow or white or even orange or yellow, but I think it's going to be better if I do it sort of a dirty color, and so that's why I'm going to use the black. That blue tag is just not sticking on. I need to grab a bigger piece. Oh, I wonder if I've got some close by. Oh, I'll just pull that off for now. We'll use this, and I'll go hunting for more. Should have applied a lot more blue tag just to make sure the miniature would stick. This is the problem. It's got a larger base on it, so I should have whacked on a heap more. Let's see if that'll stick at this time. Come on, stick on. Stay. Alright, that seems to be doing it now. That's better. So what are you doing with yourself, Bro Geek? Are you up late, probably, I suspect, and painting, or just doing other things? Yours is a tan or light brown. It's not bad one to paint. The tongue and the teeth are fun. Oh, okay, alright. I kind of figured that a kind of a shitey colour would be about right. So tan sort of makes sense, doesn't it? So I can get why you would have painted it that colour. Oh, okay. Well, that's good timing. I've just gone and voted. In New Zealand, we have our elections, and they've got this really good system where you can vote over a number of days. Ah, barbecue sounds good. Ribs. Mmm, tasty. There's a lot of area to cover. I'm going to just whack my paint on and then clean it all up later. So yeah, I was doing these player tip videos or tactic videos, and I don't know, we'll see how they turn out and how people respond to them. I was looking on YouTube and there didn't seem to be that many. I mean, A Pair of Geeks has got some pretty good, well, it's got a pretty good tactics video for players, so it's worth watching that one. And Nerdarchy's got a whole bunch, but there wasn't really much else. I mean, I suppose I'm pretty sure Dawnforged has done something, but when I did the search engine, I didn't pull up very much. And yeah, so I thought, well, maybe I should start doing some player tactic videos or strategies videos as well. Not just rules stuff. Man, there's been so many rules pumped out on the channel. I know that's why people tend to come here, is probably because of the rules. And it doesn't help that the name of the channel is How to D&D, so... But oh my gosh, they're so tiring, and there's so much research, and if I make just the slightest mistake, it causes hassles, and I don't always want to pull them down. Braxton, how's it going? Yes. Hawaii, man. That's one place I was talking to my partner about a place to go if we had the money, and we were talking about Rarotonga, Fiji, and I was trying to convince her somewhere warm, and then I was talking to one of her friends, and he works in a travel agency, and he said, go to Hawaii, you'll really like Hawaii. So yes, I'd like to be able to save up to go to Hawaii. Sounds like a nice place to be. Smoked ribs. Smokehouse. Oh, okay. Alright, I'm going to get some more black paint. It's been a rough week. I got told when I'm going to be made redundant, and that is going to take place on the 13th of December in New Zealand, that is, and that gives me 3 months to find another job, so that's good news. They were trying to do it in 1 month, which I wasn't very happy about, and I'm so glad I joined the union because they helped a lot. big hooray for that. Was worth all the money. And not only that, they did point out that my redundancy payout, because I wasn't stupid enough and I didn't get, they didn't threaten me and make me fold and make me sign that stupid letter that eliminated their ability or eliminated having to pay redundancy to me. So I get, when I do get made redundant, I get 3 months worth of redundancy. And that means I've essentially got 6 months to find a decent job and get myself back on track again. So, hooray. Happy about that. Oh, okay, yep, I'll have to hit you up on that one. I don't actually know when that's going to take place because I think right now financially I'm going to be a little bit crippled, but I know my partner does not want to sit in New Zealand her whole life, and she's made it abundantly clear she wants to travel. So I think that's going to have to happen, but there's a few things that need to happen before that. But still like the idea. Yo 3732000. Do I ever make terrain? I used to make terrain, I just don't do it now. It's just storage is the issue. I just don't have any place to put it, and I actually have to throw a whole lot of stuff out because my partner's moving in. Yeah, it has been stressful, Brock Geek. The mouth ulcers were starting to come back, and I was not sleeping well, and I had to sort of really get myself to calm down a little bit. I've been in the same place for about 13 years. It's a long time. So suddenly being told, oh, guess what? You're going. It was not great. I probably got far too comfortable. Anyway, it'll all work out in the end. So yeah, back to terrain. I've made castles, I've made walls, I've made doorways. And most of it was either from polystyrene or from, what did I use? Timber, MDF board, a lot of MDF board. I don't really know that I'll do terrain again. Truthfully, if I did terrain, it would mean you'll be watching my channel for terrain when I honestly feel that DM Scotty and is it Waylock? I think Waylock does really good terrain as well. I think those channels are really doing a great job. So I kind of feel like I don't want to cut in on that. It's very laggy. I am so sorry. I did actually do a speed check to make sure it wasn't laggy, but if it's really laggy, I apologize. If it's really, really bad, you guys let me know and I can cancel this if I have to. Anyway, where is this? And there's so many little nooks and crannies on this thing. Trying to get all the paint on is going to be difficult. And the light sort of shines and it looks like, oh, is that just light shining on it or is that a white patch? No lag from you? Okay, alright. J Crop. Seems okay. Laggy. Who said it laggy? Missed it. Braxton, whereabouts are you? If you don't mind me asking, you don't have to tell me, man. It's not a problem. Oh, the underneath of painting this, it's just really hard to get to. Okay. Alright. I think that is good enough. It's got black on it. And I'll come back to it if I absolutely have to. But I think the basic black is done. Put that aside, let it dry. And I will start doing one of these gibbering mouthers with some black as well. Oh, okay, no lag. Oh, good. Well, I'm sorry about your end. If there's issues at your end, it sucks when that happens. Okay, I'm going to get some blue tag because I ran out of blue tag and I'm pretty sure that my case is quite close. Don't go away. Got some. Never have too much blue tag. Well, maybe you can. Christmas, I did the whole house in tinsel with my brother-in-law, and every skirting board, every frame was covered in tinsel, and we used a lot of sticky blue tag tacky stuff. Kind of got a bit out of hand. Anyway, so what are people doing where they are? Just watching me, or are you doing something else? All right, let's get that on there. What I need is a lamp that will dry the miniature as I go. That would be a big help. Get things done faster. What was I talking about? Oh, that's right, I was talking about those player tactics and tips videos. So I filmed a avoid friendly fire, using cover, don't split the party. God, I think how many channels have done that particular one? So I've done one as well. I don't know that it necessarily adds very much. I did one on getting unconscious characters up on their feet. Did one on focus fire, concentrating on one target. Did another one on buffing and preparing for combat. Oh, agreeing on the same plan. Oh my gosh. Last night I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons and nobody could agree on the same plan. It's like, you're going forward. We're in an open area, so you can't tank. They're going to go right round you. I'm going backwards using Fireball and my wizard to try to take down as many as I can before they get too close. And it all just turned to custard. Got to have the same plan, otherwise it doesn't work very well. Do I just use Reaper paints for you a minute? Okay, so you don't know what I'm using. This is what I'm using. And this is because my brother, who's really good at it, recommended them. And I don't know if you can see that. Okay. Right there. That's the sort of paint that I've been using. I've been told this is a pretty cheap paint for the quality that you get. And it's got a squeezy bottle, so it doesn't mean you don't have to pull the cap off a paint. The problem with the Games Workshop Citadel paints is they seem to, when you open them, yeah, I agree. My brother said that's what he uses for his air gunning and his hand painting, so that's what I'm buying nowadays. The Citadels, it's just the cap, you know, pull a cap off, you want it with paint everywhere. Frostgrave. What's Frostgrave, Brewer Geek? I haven't heard of that. Right, well, I think that's basically black. I don't have to get too fancy with this. Here comes the black fingers again. I haven't eaten enough vitamins to be able to have 3 of these things. I've got a partner has a friend who works at a brewery, well, should I say a wine yard, makes wine. So he's got access to lots and lots of corks, and I've been asking him for a whole bunch of corks so I can use them to stick my miniatures to when I'm painting, so I have a whole bunch. Because, yeah, that's how much it cost me for these things. $49.90 for GoMan Plus. I'm not even going to explain to you what that is. Oh, skirmisher style? Oh, okay. Rule set can be used with any miniatures. Wizard versus wizard. Oh, okay, alright. So is this more a game where it's head-to-head competitive, or am I wrong? Come on, paint, come off. There's treasure and leveling. Okay. Loot. There's something I want to talk about. I was going to do a video on it, but the problem with doing a video is I'm just not too sure if Scott and Glenn have got enough stuff operating that it won't wind up being too soon. And that is an app. You guys know I use apps. Oh, okay, you can order it on Amazon. I haven't seen it before, but sounds interesting. So this app that has just recently been released for the Android, and I think it's for the iPhone as well. Head to head, but it's not to the death. Elimination scenario. Oh, okay, you got goals. All right, that makes sense. So this app that I spotted today is made by a friend of mine called Scott, and I don't really know Glenn very well, but he's the programmer. It's basically a random generator, and they've got a website, so you can go onto the website, build your random generator, and this thing can pretty much, roll up names, encounters, all sorts of things, loot. You could use it for so many different things, and you could eliminate your Dungeon Master book from your table, so because it's heavy, and just have this all prepped up. You do your charts on the website, and then if you make them public, they become available, and they'll upload them to the app as as time goes by. It's free right now, so it doesn't cost anything because it's not completely functional. And I really recommend having a look at that, check it out, and then download the app, and as time goes by, hopefully more and more charts will become available. It's one of the things I've wanted to do, is have all the charts in the Dungeon Master Guide on my phone, and I could just roll them up whenever, and this thing will be able to do that. And that's another one. Oh, pop you off, put you over there. Black fingers. Oh, where's my water? Over there. Another odd thing that I noticed was I've been getting more and more emails from people asking me to help them, and I gotta say, I struggle to keep up with this channel's content as it is, so helping somebody else is really, really difficult. I had somebody approach me about having a look at a product and maybe doing a review on something. That seems to be coming through more and more. It's kind of weird. I don't mind doing reviews on products if they're sort of related to Dungeons and Dragons, or it's sort of generic stuff that could be utilized in that way. So I'm all for doing that. Helping other people's just groups and YouTube channels. Really, it just comes down to practice, and what's the other thing? I would say do a lot of research. Not only that, you need to allow for quite a bit of time. I started off with one video every week, and then of course I decided to shift to one every day, which is brutal, but I get it done. And sometimes the quality ain't great, but I'm trying to keep the quality reasonably high. But yeah, it is difficult to, and I think that's the case for a lot of YouTube producers, you know, people who run their own channels, is they can't necessarily go and help somebody else because they're just trying to keep up with their own content. It actually chews an awful lot of your time up as soon as you start having to film and edit anything together. Something I did notice is the new Dungeons and Dragons Dungeon Master screen Reincarnated has been released, and I think a couple of people have put up videos, and I was really interested to see what they've done, and they talk about it, and they show you sort of like the front art picture, and then they don't really show you what's inside, and we're dealing with video. I have to say I was annoyed. I was like, seriously? Now I would do a video on it in a snap, because from what I've heard it sounds very, very good. But I'm in New Zealand. It takes a long time for anything to come here. So me doing a video on that new Dungeon Master screen could take a little while. So if you were hoping I was going to do one, I will. I just got to get hold of it. Okay, so, oh, I don't know. Why did I take that off? I didn't need to take that one off. I could have just, no, never mind. Right, put it aside. Where is my Otyugh? Otyugh. Okay, so I feel like I didn't put enough paint into the tentacle bits. So let's try that again. It is going to have to be watered down, I think. I don't like watering down the paint, particularly with the first coat, because it always feels like I've done too much, and then it just gets all watery and it doesn't do nothing. Okay, let's see if that works. Never know, it might work all right. Here we go. Well, I think that's coated that. Now I'm just going to mix some paint. And oh, my eyes are terrible. They're just shocking. No, I haven't done any of the Reapbone Kickstarters. I got approached by somebody who was wanting to do a Kickstarter just recently, but I don't know for exactly what the product is. Yeah, hi, how's it going, Buzzmo? Sorry, I didn't spot that. I was just painting away and got distracted. Okay, let's get rid of that brush. Right now I'm on a bit on the skint side. I haven't actually bought very much at all. Most of the stuff I've got recently has been a product of people giving it to me. I know it sounds weird, but I've been given quite a lot, which is why I was able to do all of those reviews on the Kobold press books, because I didn't actually buy them, somebody else bought them. I've still got those new spell cards. I haven't done anything with them. Alright, okay, so now let's mix some paint. I feel like that is probably the best option. And where is, I believe the colours I require are yellow and red. So we're going to go for yellow and red. Yellow and red. I think we'll start dark. Start with the red and add the yellow. I think that's the best way to go. Yeah, that ain't going to be enough. Cookley Computer. Hi, how's it going? You love my channel. I'm glad that you like it. You played 3.5. Oh, okay. I played 3.5 and I would have stayed with 3.5, but the Dungeon Master I had decided we were going to 4E. So I bought the box and we shifted to 4E. Well, I really do recommend 5E. It's a really good system. The actual mechanics, yeah, I noticed a lot of people like the mechanics videos, and by far the hardest thing I find on this channel is doing those videos. But yeah, if they're helpful to you, excellent. At least I'm producing something that you find useful, and if it gets more people playing, even better. Well, that's a lot of red, and I just added a little bit of yellow, and that did pretty much nothing. I'm gonna have to do this again. So, Cool Keg Computer, tell me what videos are you most impressed with? You know, what stuff did you like the most? It's always nice to know exactly what people like the most. Oh, let's add some yellow. I'm going to just drop it in there and just see what happens. I was supposed to get myself a sponge so I could sort of have my paint not dry up on me, but that didn't happen. I got too busy. Oh, still not enough. I feel like it hasn't really shifted very much at all. Okay, let's add a lot more. Now it'll be too much, right? Mix, mix, mix. Okay, well, for future reference, when making orange with red and yellow, start with more yellow and add just a little bit of red. Yeah, it's still not enough. The transition is going to take me forever. What am I doing? Wrong paint. Come on, coming out. There we go. Okay. All right, let's just start with that. It's a dark color. It kind of looks, I suppose it does kind of look, yeah, it'll be all right. That'll work. Stay, don't fall. Dry brush, where are you? Oh, I'm just gonna move myself. Every time I do these videos, I twist myself up so much. And right, let us see if this works. Like so, and brush off, brush off. Okay, so that's yeah. See, this is the thing. Is if the paint isn't kind of going slightly dry on you, you wind up with it coming off and it looks more watery. It doesn't sort of come off nicely. I had this problem last time. So let's just brush along here. I think I'm going to put it on really, really thin the first time and let the paint sort of dry a little bit. And that is hopefully doing something. Apply colour very slowly. Let's do that again. What are people doing? It's the weekend for me, so this is Saturday, about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. People got anything planned for their weekend? Oh, come on. That's better. Oh, okay. The most useful to me were the ones where you explain actual roles and checks. Okay, the perception check, the help action, traps, surprise attacks, combat, and the Android app reviews. Man, those Android app reviews are cool, aren't they? Just, I mean, not so much the reviews that I've done, but the apps themselves are really, really nice. Takes a lot of guff away from the table then. I was hoping to do another video on surprise, because I know I was looking at my surprise video and it's very basic, and it probably doesn't go into all the nuances of surprise, which there's a lot. So maybe I should do that sometime. Alright, it's just anyway. Oh no. Brewer Geek, that's your weekend gone then. Baxton, only a month ago. Oh, okay, I see. Those board games are really good. I mean, I don't really play the game, but the materials inside are really awesome. Yeah, that's the main thing, that she's okay. But that's a drag. I don't know, what is it? What is it? Is it get in a car and people just don't seem to be able to figure out how to not hit somebody else? That's just ridiculous. And I mean, how much time did we spend having to do tests to make sure we were legally capable of driving without making a mess? I actually teach driving skills where I work, not just carpentry. And oh, there's something I didn't spot. You know what that is? You see that right there, that big patch there? That's where I put watered down black paint on, and it's just gone. The black paint just disappeared. Okay, alright, well I've got to fix that now. Great. So, don't water down the paint till you're ready to water down the paint. Get the paint on first. Oh, I've got to use the other brush. Ran a red light. Oh dear. Okay, there we go. And black paint in the place where I put the water on, which I shouldn't have done. I knew it. Still did it though. Actually took the paint right off. And same thing here, right there. That's why I can see the grey primer. Sorry guys, I'll bring it down so you can actually see what I'm doing. Otherwise you just see me moving my hands around. Well, that's better. Good news. Right, let's get on to this, because I've got to get this done in an hour, because then I've got somebody showing up and I'll have to go and see my partner. Ah. Well, I like the idea that you're painting with your daughter. I like the idea that we play Dungeons and Dragons with our kids. I think that's a great idea. I think there's a lot of benefit to that. Oh, no, I'll never get all those paint. Yeah. I think in the end, when it came to Games Workshop and Warhammer 40k, I just gave up and I just handed all of my miniatures that I hadn't painted to my brother and I said, these are yours now. See you later. You can't get to everything. You buy too much, can't paint it all. Have the rest of you noticed how many or how popular Dungeons and Dragons has become? I was looking on YouTube and there's a lot of new YouTube channels. There's a lot of channels painting miniatures. Just there's been like an explosion, and you know people are doing really cool content too. I'm really hoping that this new movie that they're producing is going to be pretty good. I mean, if it's bad, it'll still help the hobby, but if it's really good, there'll be an explosion. We'll have like a lot more people interested. I think a lot of people get scared off and just assume that it's, you know, a bunch of geeks or people who do odd things in their basement, which we won't discuss. Yeah, no, it's good to see. I'm really happy. It's part of the reason why I did this channel. I still get people from the Dungeons and Dragons Adventurers League trying to get me back into helping organise games and run games, and I've made it abundantly clear that I feel like my input to the hobby on this channel is more important, because I get access to a lot more people, and you know they can find my stuff. Man, was I surprised when I was doing a Google search and a lot of my videos kept popping up, and I was like, seriously, what's going on? There must be somebody else. I can't. What was the channel I saw recently that impressed me? And that was, I think, is it Drow Bard? It's a channel called, I've only just started subscribing to him, and he mentioned me, which I thought was nice, and I was watching his stuff, which is actually pretty good. It's sort of a lot of explaining, a lot of why things work. Well, that is definitely doing something. And just going to make sure I don't get too much paint on there. Yeah, knew it. Wipe you off, stick my finger in there. Actually, why not, I've just got another brush, I can brush it off. Brush, too much. In you go. Now underneath, here we go. Yeah, that's working. Okay, I've definitely, if I run over time, I'm going to get into trouble again, I know it. How's it going, Overlord? Must be pretty late where you are. You got work? Oh. The warm weather is coming, and I like the warm weather, but I close all the windows when I'm shooting and doing the live stream to keep the noise down. 7 PM, busy. Fair enough. Understand that. I was thinking of doing something else other than painting, but this weekend, and then I was like, it's been such a rough weekend, I just couldn't get myself out of that. In fact, I really wanted to do a video, a live stream, and do some drawing. You know, is it WASD20? He's like the guy for maps, right? And he does lots and lots of maps, and they're really nice. But I just wanted to do some really quick sort of maps and fill out my maps with some monsters and some treasure and other bits and pieces. But yeah, just couldn't get my head into it. I thought, right, I'm just going to do some painting. Oh. Very hard to get in here, right underneath the creature. You know, you put on just a little bit of paint, put too much paint on, and it comes off and it looks bad. Don't have enough paint, and it just impossible to get at. Right between the legs. Get in there. My dry brush is going to be absolutely ruined at the end of this. That didn't work so well. I feel like I'm going to get rid of it. That'll do. Good enough. Well, it's building up slowly. It is starting to look brownish. And I think that's mostly because the paint is actually starting to... Oh, there's not enough blue tag on there. Give me a second, guys. Where's my blue tag? Here it is. I'm going to do a whole bunch more. Stick it on real good. Give myself a big sticky area. Hopefully that's a big enough area. Anyway, shove you back on. Stick it down. Go. There we go. It's on. And I don't know if you can necessarily see what I'm doing, but I'll tell you now, getting the paint underneath the creature is a hard bit. It's definitely the hard bit. Oh. No. Across the top maybe. Just get more colour into it. Well, it seems to be working. Slowly building it up. Okay. Oh, I've got to have a drink of water. I like the hot weather. I prefer it to the cold. I get the lurgy otherwise. No, miniatures don't have to start out white. This started out red actually, and then I sprayed it grey. Yep, just paint over them. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to get a base colour to it. The last time I did this, the video came out at like 2 and a bit hours. It was crazy. And by the time I'd done the cut and YouTube had processed it, like at least a day or more had passed. It was just stupid. So I've got to try to get that time frame down. That just causes too many problems, I think. And who the heck can watch for that long before you fall asleep? It's alright if you're in a live stream and you're chatting with somebody, but yeah, I think replay value is not necessarily very high. Yeah, there we go. I think that has made a big difference. And I'm going to get more aggressive now because I should be. And that is going to give it a lot more colour. I've got to try to stay away from the mouth if I can, because I want to keep that black for now until I get a chance to fiddle with that. Oh. Stroke, stroke. Yep, that's better. It's working. It's always the case, eh? As soon as the paint starts to dry up a little bit, it's easier to put on. As soon as it's sort of a bit too wet, it just doesn't go on. And all those little seam lines are standing out quite nicely now. Oh dear. I was thinking I would use what I've done with this YouTube channel and with my teaching. I would do videos on how to, use machinery and safety, and because nowadays, people, kids, doesn't matter who it is, they've all got cell phones and they're not necessarily paying attention to what you're doing. They're actually watching YouTube. So that's where everything needs to be, right? Although I know a lot of people already do that sort of stuff, but it seemed like a very sensible thing to do. You can break it down. Primer, white and black first. Yep. Yeah, that's about right. Braxton's correct. I've also got not just the Wrath of Ashardalon, but I've got the Castle Ravenloft box, the board game. So I'll probably get to that at some point. I don't know when, but that would be the plan. Just to work my way through everything. I really think that making something like this creature would be really cool, and I don't know that it would necessarily be very difficult either. Just because it's really hard to get, I don't know that it should be a reason why you don't have one in your collection. I'm sure it can be made. And I don't mean, getting a 3D printer to make it. I mean just doing it yourself out of, I don't know, putty and Sculpey and wire, stuff like that. Okay, well, it's starting to look a lot better, which is good news. And I feel like that needs to have a change in colour. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that aside, and I'm going to add some more yellow to get it lighter, just to lighten it up. It used to be that the plastic miniatures were the more expensive ones and the metal ones were the cheaper option, the pewter, but that's not the case now. I don't think that many people actually use metal miniatures. I think a lot of people opt for those resin and some plastics, but a lot of resin, just because they're just better at putting them out faster. Okay, I'm definitely going to have to add more yellow. This is just not going to work, otherwise it's going to stay pretty much the same colour, and I don't want that. Add a lot more. There we go, that's better. I want more of an orangey looking colour, so I think I'll do that again. Ooh, I got a bit carried away. Well, it's certainly a lighter colour. Kind of looks like a bloody poo colour. Yeah. Sounds bad. Anyway, let's stick that on. Of course, it won't be dry enough. Yeah, I don't have I mean, I'm on Facebook, but truthfully, I'm not really on Facebook that much, and it's just under my name. In terms of the channel, it's not on Facebook, and there's a reason for that. If I have to go to multiple sites to deal with, you know, communication, it creates hassles for me, because I can't keep up with everything. I do have a Twitter, which is under my name as well, and I have a Google Plus website, so you can chat there if you want, but yeah, nothing on Facebook. Yeah, I kind of feel like if I'm going to do this, I need to focus. Really, the only reason I would use Facebook and Twitter and even the Google Plus is to get people to come to the YouTube channel, to YouTube itself, because that's the purpose, is to get people to watch and interact with the videos rather than anything else. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, why not? Get your friends together and paint them yourself. I think that's a good idea. And I would, look, that video that I did on where to buy cheap official Dungeons and Dragons miniatures, it's getting a bit old now. So just bear in mind that if you're going to use any of the advice from that video, it is old. Stick with the Wrath of Ashardalon board game and the Castle Ravenloft board game. Don't even bother with the Dungeon Command. In the past, Dungeon Command was nice and cheap and was a good option, but it is not now, so don't do that. And what else? I'd say, I think somebody was saying there's the Elemental Evil box set. That's not too bad. If you can get them on eBay rather than on Amazon, or sometimes you can get them cheaper on from a garage sale or from a game store if it's been around a while. Yeah, you're right. That's exactly it. YouTube is a full-time job, and I have a full-time job. So YouTube is like I'm doing two jobs. But I don't really want this to be a job as such. I'm going to try and keep it as just a hobby. I've done that before and it's been a mistake. I think hobbies need to stay hobbies, so it's divorced from your work sometimes. Just a week ago? Okay. What was the first video you watched, Cool Keg Computer? If you don't mind me asking. Oh, there we go. Craigslist for those. Okay. I know if you're not in the States, the book depository can be a good option, but only if they have a sale. Otherwise, it's free shipping, but yeah, you need them to have a sale and have a fairly reduced price on it, otherwise it doesn't work out very well. And I don't think that necessarily solves the problem for everybody, because I was talking to a few people who they can't get that stuff in their country. Even trying to do it online, it's just not possible. Well, I think that's certainly improved miniature quite a lot. Just the lighter colour, building it up, and I'll do that again. Okay. It really does make a big difference when the paint starts to dry a bit rather than being really runny. Just applying it. Hi Alexander, how's it going? Random question. What size grid do you recommend for a basic battle map? Okay. What do I recommend? Okay, so if you have a look at the little white paper that I put down right here, this is not A4, okay? So that would be A4 if you went across here. There's nothing wrong with having a map that size. Truthfully, I think this, just halfway of that, right through there, is big enough. That's it. I think that's what, A3 size? The largest size from the A4, if I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm not. That would be what I would suggest. And what you can do is you can make 2 of those and put them together if you really must. I've seen people make them bigger. You can get them done at a larger size. That's the one I made. I made a whole bunch for Dungeon Masters quite a while ago, and they were all just one size up from the A4 to the A3. And to be fair, you don't have to use a grid. You know, I use a grid sometimes. I just put the grid out, and the players figure we're going to be using the grid, and we don't use the grid. I do that quite a lot. It's just to alleviate their concerns that I might be a complete ass when we're playing the game. And if they start saying, "Oh, can we use the grid?" then I just use the grid and go with that. And that leg there is just so hard to get at. In between, in between, in between, in between. My gosh. Yeah, well, it's just some combats don't really need one. You know, if it's like the tavern owner, he's going to be dead if they decide to attack him. If it's like a goblin in the level 5 or 6, a single goblin, it's all over in a second, you know. You don't always have to have the map out for those sorts of things. You can just make them happen. I've been doing a lot of, I did a video on narrative combat just recently. I've been doing a lot of narrative combat. I did a lot of narrative combat in when I was playing at level 20. I was running the group through at level 20. Huge amount of narrative combat. There wasn't any point. They would just crush everything. I just needed to wait for the key set pieces, you know? That was the more important thing. They would just tell me what they were basically doing. I was like, yep, that happens. So it's all over. And we just move on, and then I could just stack them up. And it's good too, because if you do that and you do narrative combat and it's pretty sort of one-sided towards the players, when they do get a combat and I make it hard. I make it really hard. Well, I'm kind of happy with that. That's made a big difference. First time Dungeon Master. Okay. Alright. My first video. What was my first video? I think that was the Dungeon Masters Guild. That was just as that was coming out. That is such a cool idea, the Dungeon Masters Guild. Let's get rid of this. Well, I'm glad that that first time Dungeon Master video was helpful to you, because it sounds like it was. Oh. Come here. Let's do that again. And there's a lot of black there. But I kind of feel like it's a shit monster, really. That's what it is. So having lots of black areas, it saves me having to use ink, which I don't have any ink anyway, so it doesn't matter. So I'll lighten this up again, apply some more yellow, and mix that up. Do. It's not gone, it's still there. I'm just mixing paint. Right, let's see if it... Ew, that's really disgusting. It is sort of an orangey colour now. It is a pretty nasty looking colour. What I need is a frame of reference when I've had diarrhea, and then I can use that colour as... Okay. More yellow. I think I need a big transition. Yep, that ain't going to do any more. So there's no point adding more yellow. That's about as yellow, orangey as it's going to get. Lightning. White. That's what I should do. So what are you doing, Alexander? You're going first DM. That's it. I'm doing well. Okay. Improvising is it's just one of those things. Some people pick it up really fast, some people don't. But ultimately, it doesn't matter how it works out for you. It's always going to be a practice thing. Okay. Alright, let's apply this. Hey, Alexander, I'm really glad that you're dungeon mastering, but at some point you need to ask somebody in your group when you're ready to dungeon master so you get to play. Because one of the really important factors for being a really good dungeon master and having a full experience of the game is not feeling resentful about not being able to play the game. So you, at some point, try to get in there and actually have an opportunity to play. Ah, a background to writing. That's interesting. Okay, let's apply some more. I think we'll do this in the underneath. Okay, alright. Let's be really, really aggressive now, I think. So that it actually looks like it's a different colour. And I think that's working alright. Thank God I don't have 3 of these things to paint. Oh good, you are playing. Good news. Okay. Let's get it as orangey as I possibly can, or off orangey, or it's not really tan. Oh. Prince of the Apocalypse. Prince of the Apocalypse is a tough adventure to run. There's no real significant index in it. All the information scattered around. You've got a plot hook that's not completely obvious. You have to read like the entire book to know what the heck is going on. It's a tough adventure to run. Oh, what's that? Maybe a bad idea. Look, making your own adventures means you don't have to remember stuff because you made it. So it makes perfect sense. And if you know how to structure it so you don't have to do too much work, and if it doesn't get used, don't throw it away. Just plant it somewhere along the pathway and they'll find it again and you'll get to use it. So it's a good idea. If you've got a background in writing, then it'll be much easier for you to come up with that sort of stuff. Right, it's definitely looking very orangey now. Oh, that sounds like a bad noise. Well, kind of feel like this does look like a bit of a poo monster. A junk monster, should I say, a junk. Let's get more paint there. And that. Pre-made adventures I would recommend. The Lost Mines of Phandelver in the starter box is excellent. It has a really shitey start to it. It's terrible. It's really obvious, but it's vastly better after that. And the bad aspects of it get over pretty much forgotten after that. It's just a little dicky near the beginning. Another one. Horde of the Dragon Queen is pretty linear. It's pretty easy to run, but I didn't know that I necessarily enjoyed it. You know, the problem is that most of the adventures that are done by Wizards of the Coast are really long. You know, they're far too long, and you need something shorter. I would recommend Kobold Press, and they put out a book called Prepared. I did a review on that particular adventure book, and the Book of Lairs from Kobold Press, lots of little short adventures that you can tie together, can prep them up real quick, and if your players don't like them, it won't matter because it'll all be over pretty fast, and you can move on. And they're interesting enough, you know, they're good stories. Those are the ones I would go for. And to be fair, I think Tales from the Yawning Portal, because it's made up of smaller adventures, although they are, you know, the repeats of adventures that have already been put together in the past, it's still, if you haven't done them or run them before, it's still going to be useful to you. Well, I don't know if I've got enough on there. I feel like that's good enough. I do feel like that's good enough. Okay, alright. Let's take that, and what am I going to do with that paint? There's a lot of extra paint left over. Well, considering, I think what I'll do is I'll go for the big areas and apply some of it. And the underneath, I don't know if I attack the underneath more, it won't look less black. Oh, another drink of water. feel like there's people might be having trouble staying with me, dropping in and out. Or is it just my imagination? Are there laggy problems, or is it just my imagination, guys? The browser restarted. Oh, Lost Mines of Phandelver in the starter box. I've done a review on that. You should be able to find that pretty easy. It's a good adventure. It's a mixture of all sorts of different things, so I would recommend that. That's for level 1 to 5. Yeah, it's like got 3 tentacle thingies, a big mouth, no eyes, big teeth, and 3 legs. It's a monster. It's a weird looking monster. I was chatting with my brother yesterday. I've got 2 brothers, one who's into painting miniatures and one who's into trying to make movies and also trying to write books. And he's very, very good at art. And he was telling me that he'd done 4 books. Tentacles, yeah. Yeah, it's got 1 head. It's alright, man, I wouldn't worry about it. But my brother said he'd done 4 books and he was going to do another book on aliens and robots. And I said, look, do an art book on monsters and I'll put it on the channel. I'll show it to people on the channel because I know the rest of us would be interested in monsters, but aliens not so much, and robots not so much either, because that's more sort of science fiction-y stuff. But monsters, you know, original monsters, something new, something you can sort of, with pictures you can show to your players. And then the mechanical side of it, well, we'll figure that out later. Okay. Alright, that seems to be coloured. I think that's going to be good enough. I'm going to start putting some details into this thing. Just to wash out my brush. So we're going to go with, I think I'm going to go with an off-white. I think that is probably the starting point for me. There we go. See, this is what I was worried about. This is my dry brush and it's got paint still in it. Stick it back in the water and stay there for a little while. I got this out of the Wrath of Ashardalon board game. It's really hard to get these things. Anyway, where is that? We'll use that tray. That tray can go out of the way. Tuck that down. Get some white paint. Alright, let's oh, forget white paint, gotta shake it. Now, what I want to do here is I want to colour it a little bit, but I'm worried about how much I will add. Let's try... No, what am I doing? I know where to get it from. Stop, Fred, stop! Are you guys all watching from your phone? Well, I'm streaming from my phone, so that actually doesn't sound too silly, does it, really? Makes sense. Okay. think that is going to be my colour to start with. Well, I'm using my phone and my tabletop computer. That's my avenue for keeping everything going. Alright. Stiff neck. Okay, let's grab a brush. Okay, I'm from New Zealand. Bottom of the world. Right down the bottom there. That's me. Okay, where is this? That's... Okay, let's see if this works. Yeah, I don't know. It's not like it's really clear, defined detail, so I don't think I'm going to be able to do a fantastic job with this anyway, but I think what I'll do is I'll just apply that, get some colour on it, and then see what happens from there. Black Devil, you're not late, it's alright, you've showed up at exactly the time that I expected you. There's no such thing as being late. And this is the thing with these miniatures, that it's actually really hard to get the paint to come off to give you an indication of what's going on. Go. Let's try the other side. I didn't buy myself a really fine brush, which I should have done. Getting the time zones mixed up? Oh, okay. It is 3:47 p.m. in New Zealand. So yeah, middle of the afternoon, and it's Saturday. It's always amazing how that time zone thing cracks in. You know, part of the problem though, I think, for a lot of people is because I'm in New Zealand and so many channels on YouTube they're American channels, you know, or they're living in Canada or something like that, the vast majority. They just assume that everybody's sort of got the same time zone as them. And you teach physics. Oh, okay. Yep, that's right. Saturday. It's the weekend for me. And, well, I feel like that off-white colour has actually worked a little bit. It just... I think it's certainly helped. Okay, alright, so what's my next plan? Fred, what's my next plan? I know. I'm going to use it. No, do I really want to put it there? I feel like more of a pink colour is going to work. But we'll go for the teeth. If there's enough paint left, that is. Stroke, stroke, stroke. God, this thing's got some funny details on it. very hard to pick up. Come on, you. Almost there. Oh dear. It's going to be very difficult for me to talk and do this. I've got to concentrate a lot. That helped. It's got that. What do you think, guys? Are we getting there? Right, let's have a look. Oh, moving it out of the screen so you can't even see it. What am I doing? Well, there ain't no paint left there anyway, so it doesn't matter. Let's get this. Okay, so next colour. Try to do all the white last, I think, and get the next colour on. And the next colour is going to be red tongue, I think. Oh, really? That pretty? It's a Otyogh. An Otyogh. It's a weird looking thing. Okay, so let's get rid of that for now. And I'm going to use that, actually I'm going to use some of that dark colour and then I'll do the red. I think that's going to be a better idea. So we'll do that first. It's starting to dry, so that might hopefully help a little bit. Alright, turn it a bit so you guys can see what the heck's going on. Ah, painful. Now, this colour is not going to stay this colour. It's going to be, I'm going to put a stronger red over it so that the tongue actually does look red, not sort of the same colour as the rest of the body. This is from the Wrath of Ashardalon board game that Wizards of the Coast put out. Wizards of the Coast put out quite a long time ago. It's still for sale. You can still pick them up. Oh yeah. My brush is going all over the place. Let's try that again. And come on, you. Come on, tongue. Fiddly. Trying to get inside the mouth. More paint. Was that a mistake? I don't know. Okay, that's the beginning of that. Beginning of the tongue. And I think what I'll also do is I'll use some of this on the sides where the muscles for the jaw are. And maybe I'll just brush it off a bit. And of course I'm going to put something else over that because I don't want it to be the same colour. I want it to stand out a little bit. I have to turn that a little bit, otherwise I can't get at it. That's front edge. Front edge is good enough there. I'm going to coat everything because this paint will come off for sure. I won't probably use a gloss. A gloss is going to give it a stronger finish, but I think the best way is supposed to be spray it with the gloss and then do a matte finish over so it looks better. But just more time consuming, so I'm just going to spray it matte and be done with it. It's not a heavy miniature. It's not like it's made out of metal, so it shouldn't be so problematic. Okay, so that's that bit done. The beginning of the tongue. I'm going to add some white to this, red, and see if that works. Oh, shake it again, forgot it. There we go, shake, shake. There. Okay. So, going to do the flesh colour on the side, and I'm going to mix this in with white, and that should lighten it up a lot more, so it looks more fleshy rather than reddy. You guys see that? That's what I'm doing. That's the colour I'm aiming for. Alright, let's get that on my brush. And we'll do flesh on the sides. Ah, the brush is just separating. Look at that. Hairs everywhere. Painful. Okay, let's try that now. Alright, that'll do. That's alright. And turn this so I can get at it. Oh, yes, that is so tricky. I'm not going to pick a class for you. If you're playing a character, you pick that class yourself. The few things you get to do as the player is actually choose what your character is going to be. Alright, so what do you guys think? The flesh on the sides look alright? Or is it too sort of obvious? I can probably do a little lighter colour over that. Well, I didn't think it was smart logic, just thought it seemed reasonable to me. Okay. Yeah, if you're not too sure, just roll for it. Now, so we've got the pink. I feel like I'm going to go with a transition to white, but not just yet. And let's deal with the tongue. So I feel like a full-blown red colour is more interesting, so we'll do that. And this tray looks, this is the tray I used for the bear. shake up the red. That's there. That should be enough. Let's get my brush to stop separating. Okay, let's try that now. Let's go for this tongue. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go quite heavy on the sides. And then really heavy down the middle of one side of the tongue. And then I'm going to get rid of the paint, dry it out a bit. And then I'm going to apply just a small amount and then apply across. Oh, oh, those hairs are separating again. Man, it's annoying. Yeah. Okay, that's that. Let's try that again. Sorry, what have I missed something? Alexander, what am I missing? Which would pick? I'm pretty happy with that. Looking for some randomness, but I suppose after all, Fred wins with his method. All right. Hey, I don't win nothing, man. Just play what you feel like playing. So few things in life sometimes that you feel like you have total control over, but the character you play in a game is at least something, right? Oh, and more on the tip. Hi Eric, how's it going? You do not need to be sorry, Eric. I've said it before, I'll say it again, because I've said it to Overlord. You arrived at the time that you were designated to be here. There is no being late. And that is a fact. Okay, all right, that's enough red. I'll leave the tongue for now. And I'm going to head back. I'm not going to give up on this. I'm going to use more of it, but it is going to the side for now. And I'm going to go back to the white, and I need a location that's reasonably clean. Okay, so this is what I got, guys. This is what's going on so far. I don't know if you can see everything, but I think it's time to go for claws and a bit more white, and that'll be good enough. A dream. Your adventures in a dream. Oh my god. Great idea, lame idea. Can I just say, it depends on who you've got at your table. I would say don't go with it's all in the whole adventure or the mini adventures that are in a dream. It's better to, I mean, it's their imagination already, so you don't have to make it a dream for the characters. What you can do is you could set your adventure in the dream world, but it has real consequences for them. So that means the world could be quite crazy, but there's still plenty of risk. and that could be really interesting. Cool keg computer. So yeah, but I wouldn't have them. Oh, it was all a dream, and you wake up, sort of thing. I would have. They actually have to get themselves out of this dream world. That would be far more interesting. Well, that's my opinion, and you don't have to listen to me. So, just my opinion. All right, let's get these claws done. Now we're down to the fiddly stuff. I don't know if you can necessarily see what I'm doing though. Yeah, make it obvious that they are in a dream world. You know, that changes things up, because then now they know that, you know, the laws of the world are very different if they are actually in a real dream. And what's worse is they won't necessarily be able to wake themselves up to get out of it, right? I'm assuming that's where you're going with this. Ah, okay. I like that idea. Alexander, good one. Oh, this brush is just, all the little hairs are separating, they're going everywhere. This just annoys me. And this is supposed to be the really good brush. This is the Citagel brush, right? Do that again. That's up to you, man. If you want the loot to appear in their bags at the end, you know, I think there's nothing wrong with doing that, and it would certainly make that dream world seem far more real. Mind blowing. Yeah. The cool thing about Dungeons and Dragons is you can put your adventures anywhere. You could put your adventure inside the heart of a god or a giant beast and have that as a dungeon. You can stick them in a dream world, like you're suggesting. You can place them inside a giant clock. You could put them. I'm not sure I should say that one. I'm going to be quiet on that one. But see, that's what I should do. Is I should definitely do a get together and a stream and do dungeon locations or adventure locations and draw some maps, talk monsters, treasure, and traps. I don't really use a lot of traps. I try to avoid doing that, just so that my players don't think that there's always a trap somewhere so it's a surprise. Okay. This brush is really beginning to annoy me. I should have got another brush. To make life so difficult. There's hairs everywhere. Okay, that's it. I'm washing the brush and I'm pulling those stray hairs off. Okay, so stray hairs. Come on, you. Yeah, you're gone. Oh, this is ridiculous. Come here. Okay, hopefully that's worked. Next, let us do a little bit of paint on my claw. That helped a little bit. There's still another stray hair to grab though. Oh man. Okay. Just do the other side. Sorry if you can't see, it's just really hard for me to get at. Oh, come on you. Okay, hang on, grabbing the straight hairs again. There'll be nothing left by the time I've finished here. There, it's gone. It's gone as well. Okay. Let us go for the tentacles. And that's alright, that looks alright. Well, I think that's good enough on that one. And then I want to just get there, there, there. Just pick it up. Ah. It was working well until then. Never mind. Okay, all right. Don't get too carried away, Fred. It's not the end of the world. Stroke across here. No, it's not coming off. Let's try it again. No, nothing. Can you guys see that? Or am I in the wrong position? That's better. That's more like it. Not too much paint. Okay, I think that worked out all right. Although this one is, I feel like that is just maybe just a fraction too much in some places. I can probably fix that though. Here we go. Sorry guys, it's just really hard for me to see, so I'm out of the shot. So I'm just trying to tidy up the white that was along there by using some of the paint that I still got left from the base colour that I was, well, the change in colour I had. And do that again. Oh, I'm glad you think it looks alright. I think it's time to start dealing with that those teeth. It's 16 past 4 here, and I need to get my arse into G. Otherwise, we're going to wind up with another video that's 2.5 hours long. Okay, alright, teeth time. Focus. That isn't working. Let's do that a bit less. Teeth are a little bit hickledy-pickledy here. Yep. Brush is splaying again. Ah. And a little bit more there. Come here. And just a tad there. Okay, I think I need more white. Alright, where's the white? Oh, come on, paint, come out. Oh, too much. Oh, God. Oh, no. Bumzoid. Don't talk to your phone. If you're talking to your phone, you know you're going mad, man. It's not a good sign. Just ignore it. It'll go away. Oh dear. Stray here again. Ah. All right. Top of the tooth, top of the tooth, top of the tooth. Ah, more paint. Well, them's teeth are hard to pick up. They're all a bit sort of scattered. It's like it's got teeth going up and down on the top row and the bottom row sometimes. Okay, so tentacle thingies, teeth. I suppose I should do the top again. No, it's not working. No, it's just not working. I don't know why. It's just the brush is too wet. So 1, 2, 3. Fair enough, Black Car Devil. Yeah, I'm pretty close to being finished. So, but make sure you leave it a good day or so before you try to play the replay, because I will edit it. At least the front and the back, so you don't have to deal with that. Oh, that brush is just driving me nuts. It's just splaying everywhere. Okay. Yeah, if I don't finish in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to get into trouble because I'll be late for the next thing I'm supposed to be doing, which is getting myself in the car and driving for an hour to my girlfriend's place. So, trying to build up the white so that the teeth sort of stand out. Okay. I'm definitely going to stop torturing myself with the teeth. The teeth are done. Done the teeth. And I'm going to just add just a smidgen more white up here. Just for those that little tentacle thingy, so those 3 little nodules sort of stand out a bit more. What are those teeth and claws too pretty? Use. Ah, yeah. Need to make them a bit muddier, yeah, I know. I think. What am I going to use to muddy it up? I think what I'll do is I'll just use black. That's probably the easiest way. That'll muddy it up real fast. Much faster than I probably want, but hey. Yep, that's what I'll do. All right, well, I'm not going to name it. You guys are in here. There's like 9 of you. Throw out the names. Give us some names. Name the Otiog. What is his name? Smiley's one. Yep, fair enough. Yep. Oh, come on. We've got to have more options than that, right? One name, that's it. Got to be more than that, surely. Ripper, Chompy, Jawbreaker. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I've got my colour. I just got to get enough paint off. Hang on, let's do it over here. No, it's too damp. Dripple snot. Ooh, Venus pink squid. Fungus. Ahaha. Okay, let us deal with these feet. Come on, come on, come on. Slobbermore? Tooth job? Oh, yeah. And, okay, so, teeth. So this is just a grey. And if I was organised and I had an ink, I'd probably put an ink over it, but this will have to do. No, I shouldn't work for anybody. It just looks good because you're looking at at the playback off a phone, and with low definition. I'm pretty sure I haven't got it high definition. Still haven't figured out why it keeps doing that. Yeah, that's right. It's camera trickery. Okay, guys, you got to let me know if the pearly whites look too pearly and I need to darken them up. Alright, so let's have a look here. Does that look about right? I feel like that tongue, the white looks perfect. It's actually white and grey. Well, actually, it started off as being sort of a light red colour, and then the white, and then we put a bit of grey over it. Yeah, I think it would. I think you're right. But it's going to have to do because we've been here a long time. I've got to get my ass moving. It is 4:30. I am in trouble already. A greenish brown wash. Yeah, I don't have any washes. I'll have to pick up some washes next time. I feel like the tongue is just a bit too red though. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, there was a little bit of red over here. Yeah, good night. I'll see you later. That's it. Let's get that red moving. Okay, let's shift this over. Red, there. Yeah, the tongue is a bit too red. I actually want it to be fairly red, but I still feel like I need to, just a little bit too crisp. What am I going to add? What am I going to add? No. Yeah, no, I think actually to finish that off, what I need to do is I need to use an ink rather than trying to use brushwork. I think that's probably a smarter idea. So, that is where we will finish for today. No, I don't want any angry girlfriend. Absolutely not. You guys have a good night, good day, good morning, whichever one you've got. And I'm going to sign off and say good night from Smiley, or all those names that you guys came up with, which were fantastic. Anyway, I'll see you later.